afternoon, everyone. My name is Trevor, and I will be your stripper today. And today we are stripping down this 1946 Jeep Willys. Now, it's probably been about 10 years since I've done a Jeep, and this will be the first video I've done on one. It seems to be in really good shape. Everything seems to be pretty straight, and there's not a lot of rust. Let's have a quick look at it before we get it in the alkaline tank. So you can see up front here, everything looks great. We have a little bit of surface rust, but everything is super straight. This thing is in great shape. Have a look at the floor. Just a tiny bit of surface rust. No real rust holes coming through anywhere that I can see. I'm curious to see if there's any filler on this. But we got a few little dents, but that's about it. Not a whole lot to go over on this one. Come back to the passenger side. And it looks like we have a little bit of rust coming through there. That's probably gonna open up a little bit. And it looks like we have some undercoating. We'll see how that'll be. This paint doesn't look like it's gonna be too tough, but we will see. I'm about to get it in the tank. So I'm about to put it in the alkaline paint remover and degreaser tank, and it'll remain in there for about 2 days. We're gonna take it out, pressure wash it, and we'll see what's left. Probably gonna take 1 or 2 dips at least, but maybe we'll be surprised and this will be a one and done, and then we'll head over to the acid and take care of all this rust. So we just pulled the Jeep out of the alkaline, and as you can see, that paint is just melting off. It looks like we have a red primer underneath. That might be an oxide primer. The thing with oxide primers is our alkaline sometimes doesn't like them, and our acid ends up taking it off. So we'll see if the pressure washing removes this primer. If not, it's probably just gonna go straight in the acid. I'm gonna hit underneath also, and we'll see if all the undercoating's removed. It might need one more dip, but it's looking pretty promising that this might just be a one and done. But I'm gonna pressure wash it and we'll see what's left. So as you guys can see, we're taking a break from the shop real quick. Something really annoying happened today while I was videotaping, and it's happened so many times. So I use my phone to record, and sometimes I'll hit the pause button or stop record button while I'm videotaping because I don't realize it because I'm watching the car as I'm pressure washing it, and then I'll end up missing half the video. That sucks. That's actually ruined whole videos for me. So I got around that, and I got a lot better. I don't do that anymore. But this time I was right in the middle of pressure washing a car, and I wasn't even looking at my phone. It's pressure washing, and apparently I received a call, and I answered it while I was pressure washing and didn't even notice. As soon as I go to look down back at my phone to make sure everything was in focus, I'm talking to somebody and my video's stopped. The call was going for like 30 seconds, so they just got a whole bunch of nonsense of pressure washing sounds. But I'm all mad, so I go to answer it and see if it was anything important. Turns out it was just a scam call anyway, so they ruined my video, and this isn't the first time this has happened. I know, call interrupted my video, big whoop. But some of these scammer calls can be pretty scary and convincing. There's been cases where scammers have gotten people's voices offline and used AI to mimic the voice to say whatever they wanted to say. Especially if you post videos online like I do, your voice is all over the place. And they could use that voice to say, call your grandma or something and convince her to send them money. And older folks are a little more susceptible to this stuff. So it can be pretty serious. So I've been looking for a way to get my numbers off those lists and stop receiving all this spam that I receive all the time. And trying to research that more on how I could do that, I found all this information about data brokers and how companies just sell your information. We all knew about that. Social media and everything, there's always data breaches. It's so annoying. But I never realized how prevalent it was to me personally. So that brings me to today's video sponsor, Incogni. They're a complete lifesaver. They do all the footwork for you and get your names removed off all those lists and stop companies from selling your information. So I actually use Incogni personally. I actually have my account up here right now. And as you can see, I was on over 175 lists. They already sent requests, 82 are in progress. 93 were already completed, and it saved me an estimate of 69 hours and 45 minutes if I did this myself. So as you can see, if I didn't step in right now, this could have got a lot worse, especially since every year data breaches are increasing. From 2021 to 2022, there was a 41.5% increase in victims of data breaches. Incogni will constantly be protecting your data as long as you're using the service. And it's so simple to get started with them. All you have to do is 3 easy steps. Create an account, grant them permission to work with you, and then sit back and watch it work. It's basically effortless, and it gives you peace of mind knowing you're being protected. You can also protect your friends and family. With their friends and family plan, you can add up to 4 people, and they get the same service that you do. So make sure you guys go and check out Incogni. Use promo code MINUTEOFDANGLE in the link in the description below, and that'll get you 60% off of an annual Incogni plan. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Well, that pressure washing went pretty well. This metal looks absolutely awesome. There was some rust under the paint, but pretty much everything came off. There are a few areas where it looks like it was redone, and we're gonna have a close look at this real quick, go over it, and then it is gonna have to go back in the alkaline tank for one more dip. Also, I see in the comments everybody's asks, do we hit underneath the car? And a few of my videos I do show that we hit underneath the car, but the videos end up so bad. I do everything on my phone, and I'll give you a look at the underneath side of this one, and I'll put some of the video in there, and you'll just see how soaking wet and bad lighting everything gets. But we're gonna have a quick look underneath, and you can see pretty much everything came off. We do have some places that have some thick undercoating, but that'll be removed in the next dip. So let's have a quick look. All right, here's where some of the thick undercoating is. in a few areas, you can see. But mostly everything came off. We'll have a look under here. You can see we have some decent rust underneath here. And we put this on a scaffolding rig. It's rated for like 5,000 pounds or something like that. But you could see there's a lot of pitting and rust underneath here. But no rust holes coming through, it looks like. Have a look from this side. We have a little more undercoating, but a lot of good metal under here. And we'll come over to this side, and you can see some rust, but all the undercoating was removed on this side. So we're gonna get this back in the tank and see if it takes care of the rest of this paint, and then we'll be ready to remove all this rust. So as you can see, there's still some paint and filler on the back end. I was hoping the acid would take it off because there was some primer that I thought the acid would take off. Here's some pictures of how thick that filler was. I ended up having to sand it off. And this is it going into the acid after I sanded all that filler off. It'll remain in here for about 2 days, and then we're gonna pull it up, pressure wash it, apply our water-based rust inhibitor, and get this thing finished up. And as you can see here, we're lowering it back into the alkaline bath after we took it out of the acid bath. This is going to neutralize all that acid. It only spends about 10 minutes in here, and then we're going to pull it up here and then give it its final pressure washing. The 1946 Jeep Willys is finally finished. I got this thing down to bare metal. This was a pretty simple dip. The paint just melted off. And actually, a funny thing, I posted the pressure washing video of this car on multiple platforms, and when everybody saw the paint just melting off, everybody thought it was a fake video. There were so many people in the comments, hundreds, I'm dead serious, thought I painted this car with fresh paint and then just pressure washed it off to make a satisfying video. But good thing I videotaped the whole process so I can show them and educate them a little bit on what actually is going on. As for the rust, there really wasn't a lot of rust on this at all. There's a few pinholes coming through in a few spots, and there was some work done to it, some filler on the rear end, but everything seems to be in pretty good condition. There were some parts replaced. You can see some welds and stuff that definitely aren't factory. But let's have a quick look at this and we'll see what we're working with. So up front here, towards the firewall, everything is super solid. You can see these welds here, these braces seem to have been replaced. And there's a few other spots on this that I can show you. But this thing makes me feel like a giant. It is tiny. You can see these welds here also. Have a look at the floor. The floor is great. You see we have some pitting, but all in all, it's pretty solid. And you can see those braces over there are welded and seem to have been replaced. A few dents back here, as you can see, and some pitting, but all in all, everything's pretty straight. Come to the rear end where all that filler was. You can see it's all beat up there, and we have some stacked welds, and it's basically the same thing on the opposing side. And here's where the thickest of the filler was, all through here. And you can see we have some welds there also. But this thing is solid. And in here, you can see that's where the pinholes and stuff are. But all in all, not too bad at all. A lot of pitting, that's where most of the rust was. And we have some rust coming through there. But I'm glad we could leave this guy with a blank canvas to start with. So as you can see, this Jeep finished up super nicely. The metal looks amazing. And it's very rare that you get a car this old looking this good. But I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching till the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I promise you there's more videos to come. I haven't been able to post a lot lately. Stuff's been really busy at the shop, under construction, as I said before, and I just haven't been able to get the content that I wanted for you guys. I have a few more videos in the works right now. They just need edited, and I will definitely get those out to you. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you at the next car.